My parents scoffed. "You're never going to be as good as your brother." I stood up and said, "Then tell him to cover all the bills. I'm not sending money anymore." My mom was shocked. "What money exactly? We never got a single dollar from you." Can you imagine being told to your face that you'll never measure up to your sibling, especially when you've been secretly sacrificing everything for your family? That's what happened at my own mother's birthday party. And the truth that came out next, well, it shattered everything we thought we knew. My childhood, growing up in Beckley, West Virginia, wasn't some warm, fuzzy picture. It was a long series of days spent suffocating in the shadow of unfair comparisons. I was always the one falling short, while my younger brother, Chase, was the shining star no one could rival. From a really young age, I just got used to being pushed to the sidelines, like I was just a supporting character in my own family story. Chase, for years my junior, he was born with this strange charisma, you know? Lively, eloquent, and just so good at charming adults with a radiant smile or a perfectly timed joke. He was the true golden child, cherished by everyone. At every family gathering, all eyes were on Chase, while I'd sit there quietly, waiting for a question or a kind word that almost never came. My dad, he was a coal miner, toiling day after day in those dark, grimy tunnels. He'd come home with his face smeared with coal dust, his hands calloused. He was a man of few words, but when he spoke, it was usually to praise Chase. My mom, an accountant, always busy with ledgers, still found time to brag about her clever son to the neighbors. I know, deep down, they didn't mean to hurt me, but their favoritism built up over time, like the layers of coal dust clinging to my father's skin. They often overlooked me for reasons that sounded reasonable, but honestly, they were just excuses to justify their bias. I was quiet, reserved, not great at small talk. I'd often fumble when trying to chat with relatives, while Chase could make a room burst into laughter with a single joke. My grades were decent, but I never brought home major awards. Chase, on the other hand, was constantly praised for everything: youth soccer, school performances, all the things that made him stand out. Me? I loved reading sci-fi and tinkering with technology, spending hours with an old computer my dad bought at a secondhand market, taking it apart to understand how it worked. But to my parents, that was just dry, or burying my nose in computers, as if my interests were some kind of flaw that needed fixing. Those repeated comparisons became a smoldering wound in my heart. It didn't bleed, not outwardly, but it ached late into the night. "You need to learn from your brother," Dad would say, whenever I brought home my report card. My grades were steady, but they were insignificant to them compared to the praise Chase received. I felt like I was just a shadow trailing behind him, a faint silhouette no one noticed or even needed. It wasn't that I resented Chase. He was my little brother, and I loved him with full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.